Welcome to the Motivational Medium podcast. I'm Anne-Marie Lord, a psychic medium, author, and the founder of the Motivational Medium Academy. On this podcast, we'll explore intriguing topics such as mediumship, psychic abilities, and the amazing idea that we all have intuition within us. Whether you're a believer, skeptic, or somewhere in between, get ready to unlock your extraordinary potential as we discover the supernatural world together. If you want your questions featured on the show, be sure to join my tribe by subscribing to my newsletter at annemarielord.com. Let's go. Hey lovely, welcome back. I wanted to share something with you today about the RAS system and how we can program this part of our mind to see more signs from our loved ones in spirit, and also signs that will help us make better decisions in life. Now, I was going to share this with you, all about what the RAS is and how it works, but I had a thought and I thought, I know I'm going to share with you chapter 1 of my book, The Grateful 3 Approach to Life, so that this chapter explains it perfectly. And it's also got some other great tips in there as well, all about gratitude. So I'm going to share that with you now. So enjoy. Chapter 1. The Grateful 3 Approach to Gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude. During my time spent as a clinical nurse, each morning I would wake up and reach for my phone and check my emails, messages, work phone messages, Facebook messages, and, oh why not, I'll check Instagram too. Then I'd start to worry about getting ready for work. If the traffic would be good that day, what I'll eat for lunch, shall I eat or am I on another diet? Is it eat what I want day to day? Can I afford another eat what I want day? If I ate cake yesterday for Wendy's birthday, my mind would race. How many clients do I have booked in this morning? Is Mrs. Smith's wound going well with the new treatment I prescribed yesterday? What am I teaching today? Will the sessions go well? Will the students arrive on time? Will the PowerPoint presentation work? I hope the person before me didn't go home with the little red pointy thing or the clicker to change the slides. Have I got enough morning tea? Will I get home in time for my son? What shall I cook for tea? Whoa, stop. And all this before I'd even got my arse out the bed and my feet on the floor. My mind was like a hamster on an out-of-control cage wheel. Before my breakfast, I'd reached 10,000 steps for the day in my mind. Does that count? This was me every morning, and I'm sure there were extra worries in there too. Far too many to mention. However, I had programmed myself to think this way. And, as I was soon to discover, yes, this was all my doing. As soon as my eyes opened, my mind would start working overtime. And as if I wasn't overwhelmed enough, I would put the news on in my car on the drive to work. This would really compound my misery and get me well and truly seated comfortable in the uncomfortable zone, the place many of us call home. What I know now that I didn't know then was that I had the power to change this. I had free will to think what I thought, control what I let into my mind, and know that no matter what happens in the outside world, how I felt was my choice. Let me explain. Do we have control over anything that happens in the outside world? No. Do we have control over how others behave? No. Do we have control over what others think of us? No. Do we have control over what we think? Yes. If we surrender our happiness, success, joy, and freedom to the outside world, or to other people, they are the ones who dictate if we have a great life, day, hour, or minute, or not. That's a lot of power we give away each and every day. Unfortunately, this also creates a degree of fear and uncertainty, which causes our stress and anxiety levels to rise. I would start my working day mentally and physically exhausted and wonder why work and people would stretch me to breaking point. You can also think of it like this. I opened my eyes and my vibration and energy levels was glowing at 100%. By the time I had gotten out of bed, I was at 60% or even lower. By the time I got to work, I was vibrating at around 35%. Wow. I had, through thought alone, reduced my energy by more than half. Looking at these numbers, do you think it would take much for me to have a bad day? For someone to upset me or anger me or make me feel insecure? No. I would blame all my unhappy situations on everyone and everything else, like most of us do. It's me parents' fault, or it's me boss's fault, me sister's fault, brother's fault, Mary at work's fault. I didn't realise back then that my negative thoughts were the very reason I was unable to find peace in my life. To me, it was always anyone else's fault but mine. Even though I had done a marathon demolition job on my mind before I'd even gotten out of bed that morning, I still believed everyone else was to blame but me. When I realised that it was my decision to allow myself to stay in this perpetual momentum of worry and lack, I became aware it was within my power to change it. Light bulb moment. I didn't know how I would change my mindset at that stage. I only knew that for my life to improve, I'd have to find a way to change it. And that, my friend, is always the first step. Make the decision to change. The first thing I did was plug my phone into charge in the bathroom before I went to bed. Out of sight, out of mind. This way, I wouldn't be tempted to peek at what was going on in the amazing world of social media and let trouble and drama rule my thoughts as I drifted off to sleep. I stopped watching and listening to the news, violent movies and soap operas with depressing storylines. I found this hard at first as I was a massive fan of Coronation Street. Instead of the negativity, I started watching documentaries and reading books on spirituality and self-healing and how the mind worked. I attended many seminars and I even became a Tony Robbins firewalker twice. Because my husband could see the dramatic changes taking place in my life, I even got him hooked too. And he became a firewalker in 2019. I began to notice that if I felt like I had a bad day, it was usually just a bad minute that I'd decided to keep hold of. I would put on a good comedy and lift my energy, preferably Billy Connolly, as he could always make me laugh out loud. Did you know the two guaranteed emotional situations to bring you straight back into the now are sex and laughter? Just don't get them mixed up. I surrounded myself with people who made me smile. And as for those who didn't, well, they were on the clock. I started to limit the time I chose to spend with them. Whenever I was in the car, walking, cooking, or had any other time alone, I devoured everything I could by people who achieved great success, like Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie, Eckhart Tolle, and Michael Singer, amongst many other expert teachers. I was on a mission and couldn't get enough. I am a simplistic and impatient person, and although I had made changes, I found it exhausting doing some of the long routines recommended to be done daily. So I came up with my own easy-to-apply techniques that got the same results. The following technique is something anyone can do despite your age, situation, or circumstance. It's also easy and fun and something I taught my kids and grandchildren to do. The change in them is enormous. First thing in the morning when I opened my eyes, I would take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then I'd give thanks for 3 things in my life. I started doing this every morning and still do it today. I call this the Grateful 3 approach to life. What I found was that beginning in the morning with one simple routine improved my whole day. It raised my vibration. I was now at 110% and starting my day with newfound energy instead of a depleted energy. I soon found it was hard to stop at 3 things to be grateful for. This surprised me since in the beginning I sometimes struggled to find one thing. But soon, even during the day, I would randomly notice things and people to be thankful for and acknowledge them. Now there is a science behind this, so here it is in easy to understand terms. There is a collection of neurons in the brain called the Reticular Activating System, RAS. They act as the gatekeeper of information between our sensory system, eyes, ears, etc., and the conscious mind. Recent studies suggest the average person has more than 6,000 thoughts per day, so the gatekeeper is of great importance as it allows us to keep hold of the dominant thoughts and store them as data in the subconscious mind. So if you decide to think about something, you will not only think it, your senses will get involved. For example, have you ever noticed that when you are looking to buy a new car, a specific model and colour, you will see that car everywhere on the road? It is no coincidence. Was the car on the road the day before? Yes. Of course it was. However, today you activated your RAS to focus on the make and model and even the colour of the car, and now you see it everywhere. Try it. What that means in our Grateful 3 routine is if you have activated your RAS for things to be grateful for, and those are what you will see and notice throughout the day. The more you do this, the more you will be programmed to look for the positives and not the negatives. This is also why if you program the RAS to look for the negatives in life, you'll find them too. The decision to change is within your hands, or the RAS. This is not magic, it's science. Therefore, it can work for everyone. You just have to decide to make the change. People often ask how long they should practice the Grateful 3 approach, and my answer is, how long will you continue to breathe? Once you see the changes, I know you will want to continue as the momentum of transformation only gets bigger and better. You will begin to notice improvements within only a few days. Your energy will rise to expand your vibration and draw the things you want in instead of what you don't want. New opportunities will come your way, and you will notice that people respond to you in different, more positive ways. They are less negative and more fun to be around. You may even find your family and friends becoming more grateful for their lives. Without even telling them what you're doing, you are leading by example. This is magic. Well, not really, just the RAS at work again. The quickest and most effective way to get what you want is to be grateful for what you already have. Try it. What have you got to lose? Tips. Plug your phone in at night time in another room. If you need it for an alarm, put it on flight mode, or even better, buy an alarm clock. Switch off the morning news. Listen to motivational podcasts like mine, The Grateful 3 Approach to Life, or listen to uplifting music. For at least 30 minutes a day, read or listen to a book that brings you enlightenment and joy. Start small, grow big. The Grateful 3 Approach to Life, 3-step process to gratitude. 1. Every morning before you get out of the bed, give thanks for 3 things you already have in your life. 2. In the evening, look back over your day and choose one specific thing that made your heart sing. 3. Give love to one person from your day. Hey lovely, hope you enjoyed that. So very quickly now you know what the RAS is and also how amazing our minds are. What if we were to change the RAS system and see more of what we wanted to see and see more signs to give us guidance? Now, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, I've seen 222 or I've seen 111 or, you know, angel numbers number 5 or number 3, or I keep seeing birds or willy wagtails. Like I always see willy wagtails and it always makes me feel really good inside. I've just moved house and I have this willy wagtail that sits outside my window in my old house. And I was really talking to him the other day and I was like, you know, I'm going to miss you, fella, and, you know, come and see me in my new house. Anyway, this morning I comes out to come to the office to record my podcast and here he is sitting on the step as I opened the front door of the new house. I was like, oh, welcome back. And he just made me feel so good. So now you know what the RAS system is. Use it. Anything that's important to you in your life, you will see more of. And you know, our loved ones in spirit, they love it when we acknowledge that it was a sign, and they will help us see more and more once we acknowledge it. A lot of the time we think, oh no, you know, that's not true. Like I remember my husband's in the car one time and his dad, he used to love Billy Idol. And I remember his dad when he was a kid and he always talks about his dad saying to him, you know, who's that fella, that Billy 100L instead of Billy Idol? And he was in the car and he was thinking about his dad and Billy Idol came on the radio and he thought, no, this is just a massive coincidence. He too tried to poo-poo it off. And straight after that, the record Mariah Carey, I'm shining down on you from heaven. And he was like, okay, I get it. So the more you acknowledge the signs and the more you see these signs, you're setting off the RAS system, which is an amazing activity of your life within the brain, connecting a group of neurons that help you see more and know things that are important. So if you do that, then you will see more signs, you will get your messages, you will get your guidance, yet. So give it a try. And I hope you enjoyed the chapter 1 of the book. Just a heads up, if you would like to read more of the book, it's got loads of more further information, loads of tips, some funny stories, some sad stories too. But if you wanted to have a copy of the book, please jump on my website, annemarielord.com. And if you buy it from the website, then you'll get a signed copy sent to you. Now, for all you guys in Australia, it's free delivery. Sorry for those of you that are not in Australia, it's not free delivery. But for you guys that are in Australia, it's free delivery. Now, I will sign it, and some of you may even get a little short, tiny little message written in there as well. So if you want to read the book and you want to order your copy directly from my office, then please jump on my website, annemarielord.com. I hope you've enjoyed this today. Use the RAS system. It helps you see more fun things in your life if that's what you choose to see. It helps you see more signs. It helps you get more guidance. It will also help, as the book says, if you use it with gratitude, you will see more things to be grateful for. I always say to people, and you've just heard this in the book, that if you can program this to see negative things, then you will see more negative things. But if you program it to see happy and fun things, then you will see more things like that. So use the RAS system, and I hope to see you on the next podcast. It's been lovely talking with you today. Take care, lovely, and have a lovely day. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this show. It's important to note that while I'm here to inspire, encourage, and guide you, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or a doctor. Join me again in 2 weeks for more captivating revelations on the supernatural. Remember to be in with a chance to have your questions answered on the podcast. Subscribe to my newsletter at annemarielord.com. Stay in the tribe to vibe. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.